Alright, everyone. Welcome to South Park: The Stick of Truth for the PlayStation 3. This game is also available for the Xbox 360 and PC. This is a game that came out on March 4th, 2014. And I have to say, it's been a long time coming, and I'm absolutely happy that it came out finally. For me, I actually found out back in 2012 when that was being released. I kind of had my doubts about it, considering the fact that there's a long history of South Park games that were absolutely just terrible, in my opinion. And the only ones I know of are three. There were two that I didn't know about. I haven't played those, but I heard that they're very good. So I'm basing my opinion off the first three games that I know of, and the only one that I've actually played. So, before I actually start with talking about that, I do want to mention that this type of game is certainly for the South Park fans. This is certainly a lot of fan service for them, and considering the fact that I'm actually one of those fans, like, I remember watching their first episode back in 2002, I believe. And just to give you guys a bit of back history, it actually started in 1998. But yeah, the first episode I saw, which actually aired for me, was the Cartman anal probe episode. If you guys don't know which one I'm talking about, go look it up online. It's freaking hilarious, and it's their first episode that they actually like I said, that they actually aired, and it was weird that I caught that one and not any other one specifically, because it was really strange, because I remember sitting down and watching that one, and I think the first time I saw it, I was kind of sitting there going, what is this? What is happening here? You know, but I found myself enjoying it so much that I fell in love with it, you know, and I was so in love with it that I actually sat down and played their first game that they made, simply titled South Park. It was for the N64, and it was released also in 1998, but again, I don't think I played it until about 2002, and I don't know what it was. There was something terrible about it, like, and not in a good way, you know. It was one of those things where I just kind of, and keep this in mind, back in 2002, I was the type of person that wouldn't actually play games seriously. Like, if I started to lose, I would automatically just try and kill myself, like in GoldenEye. I don't know what it was. I wasn't the type of person to play seriously, so every time I start to lose, that was one of those things. But as I got older, I found myself, you know, getting a lot better and actually sitting down to enjoy games. But yeah, even in that mind frame where I was sitting down playing South Park, I absolutely thought it was terrible, and it was just for my sake. But everybody else I talked to actually agreed, for their own personal reasons. You know, they figured that the voice acting was terrible. You know, none of the jokes made sense. The story was just ridiculous. It was just absolutely terrible. And so I'm glad in that respect I'm not the only one that thought it was a terrible game. But as I said, there were also two other games I know of that came out during that same time, I guess. The other two were, one of them was Chef's Love Shack, where it was you would play a mini game, and you would play trivia, and I guess if you either got it wrong or right, you'd have to play through mini games, and you'd have to beat those and then move on to other trivia questions. And I thought it just sounded terrible. I didn't actually play it, like I said, but I knew about it. The second one that I knew about was South Park Rally, which, again, I didn't play, but it just sounded ridiculous. It was one of those go-kart type games, and I didn't really find myself enjoying it, especially, or wanting to enjoy it, especially after the downfall of South Park. So after that, I completely fell off from actually hearing about any of the South Park games, but I did hear about a couple more. The first one was South Park Tower Defense, was released in 2006, and I heard it was pretty good. Like I said, I didn't play it. I kind of knew about it, I guess. The other one, which I absolutely did not hear about and didn't know about, and probably wouldn't be able to play it even if I tried because I don't have one. It was called South Park Teneman's Revenge, which was released for the Xbox Live Arcade out in 2010, I believe. Hopefully somebody can leave comments down below and let everybody else know when that was released. But yeah, I don't have an Xbox, so I wasn't able to play it or anything. But yeah, I didn't even know about that one. But yeah, we've the other thing I want to mention is they've also not only made games and TV shows, but they actually made a movie, a South Park movie, that I've seen at least once. And then I haven't seen it again. And I think at this point I may have to at some point. But yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, even after all that, well, like I said, I had actually heard about it in 2012 that this one was being released, and now you can finally understand exactly why I kind of had my doubts about this one, because I was so scarred with the original South Park game. I was just like, oh, I don't know, guys. Plus, THQ were the ones that were publishing it, and THQ didn't really have a good history of making great games. They did make WWE games, which I sort of had a love-hate relationship. I hated the controls, but I love the game in general because I'm a huge wrestling fan. But yeah, when they shut down, it was kind of terrible for me. I was like, that's really messed up. But yeah, after that, it sort of went into purgatory, and nobody heard about anything. About 6 months later, in the same year, 2012, is when I had actually heard that Obsidian had picked it up, and that was all I heard. And I was like, oh, well, that's not terrible. I mean, I had already started making a pre-order purchase on it at GameStop, so that kind of gave me the motivation to go and finish paying it off. And after that, I'd heard nothing other than that, and I was still super excited for it. At the end of 2012, they had released a video to the Spike Awards, and it was really cool. Like I said, I was super excited. I already finished paying it off at that point, and so when I had heard about it, they were like, oh, well, it's supposed to be coming out sometime, So, it was originally supposed to be released at the beginning of 2013 that I actually heard, and I was like, okay, well, that's not too far away. It's still kind of long, but I can wait. And then it got pushed back to the end of 2013 at the same time as Watch Dogs, which is also a Ubisoft game. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention that. I was distracted for a second. Ubisoft picked up the publishing rights, obviously, now that I'm mentioning it. And in that respect, I thought that was a good thing, because Ubisoft makes great games, great franchises, such as Prince of Persia and Assassin's Creed, and even the Rayman games, which I don't play, but I do often watch the live videos online where it seems like people are having a lot of fun with it. So this is definitely another one. It wasn't being published, it wasn't being developed by them, but still, the fact that they're actually a part of it and they make such a great franchise, it's cool. It definitely is one of those things where they deserve to have their stamp on this sort of franchise. Which, as it turns out, they were actually not really excited for it because there were actually a couple of photos that were released online, which they didn't actually appreciate. Going back to one specific scene, the anal probe, which is actually in this game. There was a photo that was released that actually showed that, and then another one where, I forget what it was, but when I was reading a Game Informer article online, they had said that Ubisoft had actually wanted to take those pictures down because they were embarrassed about the advertisements that were going out, and having their name put on the title, or along with the title. I guess it embarrassed them, and that's what I was saying. If you know South Park, you know exactly what it is they're about. They make parodies. They really do, and they do such a great job with it to the point where you're not really hurt. You're just more like, oh wow, I can't believe that's so true that that's how things are. They parody a lot of different things. They parody, like I said, the aliens. The aliens would normally act like that, and you guys will find out more in detail about what it is that these aliens do from other aliens that we've heard about. And they're absolutely hilarious. And I actually forgot about that when I played through this. Because I actually did. I was going to wait to do this the first time for you guys, but I couldn't help myself being such a huge fan. And I sat down and played this, and I was like, oh my god, there's a lot that I just forgot about. But I certainly had a lot of fun with this game. Anyways, going back to all this marketing stuff before the game was actually released. It was supposed to be released at the end of 2013 with Watch Dogs during that time for the PS4, and then Watch Dogs got pushed back, so these guys got pushed back all the way up until March 4th. It was supposed to be released on February 28th, and then they pushed it back a little further, and here we are. So, going back to the whole parodying thing now that I got that out of the way, they parody other TV shows, other movies, big celebrities, even political, sexual orientated, and even religious, opinions. They make fun of all that, and it's for me, it's just a lot of fun. A lot of people take things seriously, but if you watch a show like this, you gotta just have fun with it like I do. I know that it's not right to make fun of these people in real life, but watching a series like this, once again, Trey Parker and Matt Stone in this, in the way that this turns out, it really works. I think that they've definitely fixed a lot of issues that they had back then, from that 1998 version, because they even mentioned that they have the technology for it at this point. So the fact that they can actually make a game like this it's absolutely incredible. And as I said before, I'm honestly putting my own stamp of approval on this. This game is certainly worth any South Park fan. If you're worried about spending $60 on a piece of crap, if you think this is a piece of crap, well, you might be right, because it's it's a piece of gold crap, basically. It's absolutely worth the $60, and I actually paid a little over that. I actually paid about $80 or $90 because I got the Grand Wizard Edition, which comes with a 6-inch figure of Cartman in the Grand Wizard outfit and a map. Also, there was another piece of DLC that I got along with the original piece that was supposed to be released with this. So I got quite a big deal out of it, and I spent a lot of time actually playing this game. Like I said, I was going to play through it for about the first hour and a half, and then leave it alone for you guys to sort of make your decision on whether or not you want to buy it, and then sort of leave it for about a month or two, and then come back to it. But like I said, I couldn't help myself, and in fact, I actually finished in 3 days. Not completely. There's still a little bit that I need to get, like extra little collectibles, and I need to finish one more main side objective, but everything else is done, and I certainly had a lot of fun with it, and I'm certainly not mad about having this in my collection, and much like every other game that I have that I'm not disappointed with, this one is certainly going to be one of those that will certainly be in my collection for many, many years to come. I'm certainly not the type of person to return any games that I finished, unlike other people are. A lot of you are out there. I'm certainly one of those dedicated fans, and I guess more of a pack rat than anything else, but, this is one that, like I said, I'm not going to be disappointed in having in my collection, and I would hope that those of you out there that go out and buy this game and are true South Park fans that actually enjoy it, that you would want to keep this game in your collection for many years to come as well. But that being said, though, I have to also put a warning up, because with these videos going up, there's going to be a lot of types of things that are most likely going to get me flagged, and I would hope that you guys don't do that. I am going to make sure that for those of you watching, you have to be 18 years or older, but even with that, please don't flag me, because this is a big deal for me. This is certainly a huge game, and I would really appreciate it if you guys would just let this take its course. I'm not the type of person to really follow any kind of guidelines at all. I feel like if I'm going to upload something, I'm going to upload something. I'm not going to go ahead and skimp out on it and not show everything that I feel needs to be shown throughout this sort of series. So, I know a lot of people are worried about that, and I'm certainly worried about it for that reason, but I'm certainly not going to go ahead and, leave out any details just because, you have to be a certain type. I'm not the type of person to follow any sort of rules, so I don't really plan on starting now, but I would hope that those of you out there don't get me in trouble because of the type of person that I am. That being said, I do have to go into a bit of detail about what exactly there is that you guys have to be worried about. There's in this game, there's violence, there's nudity, there's foul language, there's drug and alcohol references, among many other things. I mean, this is such a huge game, and as I was going to mention, when Trey Parker and Matt Stone hit you, when they punch you in the face, they don't pull their punches. They hit you hard and honest and true. And this game definitely is one of those things where it certainly holds true to that thing that they have. That sort of standard that they have for anything, for that matter. So I definitely think that, like I said, this is certainly a masterpiece. This is their hit. This is their official non-deformed baby. I mean, this thing is absolutely perfect in just about every way possible. The only issues I had with it, though, were there was a bit of slowdown while it was saving, and there were a few things that were sort of missing. It would actually disappear and then reappear, so it was one of those things where things would happen, but still, even with that, I think it's still absolutely perfect. It's almost like, in my opinion, saying just about the most beautiful girl, but she's got at least a few zits on her. Not too big, they're little tiny ones, but it's fine. It's okay. It's about what's on the inside, not what's on the outside. But the other thing I have to mention is going into detail about what this type of game is it's an RPG. It's an action fantasy RPG. Action adventure fantasy RPG, rather. You have to go along this quest to find the stick of truth. obviously. The type of person that you play is the new kid, which is someone that you create on your own. And you sort of become a part of this group that's already, like I said, you become a part of the franchise, you know. You find yourself getting mixed in with the rest of the group and this journey that they've started, you know, and that they've apparently fought for many years. Yeah, it ends up turning into such a huge deal that it actually becomes a serious thing. And I'm not gonna spoil a lot, you know. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, it certainly is an interesting game. There's a lot of, like I said, even a lot of the weapons, they're not exactly, well, regulated for, you know, weapon type use as normal. Well, what it's called is LARPing, but it certainly is unique in its own way. And like I said, being at South Park, I kind of just rolled with it and had a lot of fun with it still. But the other thing is that it's, oh man, yeah, you know, well, like I said, not only does it save, going back to that, but you can actually auto save. So I guess it sort of balances itself out. You can actually save on your own. It'll save you to the closest spot that you were at. So it won't save you the exact point, but it certainly is linear enough to keep you safe at that point. Also, when you die, which I'm sure a lot of you will, much like I did so many times, it will actually load you back to the most previous spot. You know, I did find myself having a lot of leniency with that as well, so I do appreciate that. Excuse me, I do appreciate that a lot, because a lot of these games nowadays don't actually do that for you. So that was really nice that they actually that they did that. So yeah, with that being said, I think what we're gonna do is we are about 25 minutes in. We've gone on long enough. I've really just spent a lot of time talking, and that's basically what this first part was going to be for. It was just me sort of getting everything out on the table for you guys, letting you know about my thoughts, how my history started with all this, and just the history in general of the South Park franchise, what other sorts of media that they've made, any issues that I found with the game. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and then when we come back, I'll play in for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then I'll kind of leave it alone for a month or two, let you guys go ahead and check these videos out, tell your friends, let them know if they are South Park fans. Show this to them, you know, show them the gameplay, you know, that I get in for the first hour, and see if they want to buy it, or if you want to buy it, or, you know, if anybody out there that doesn't know about this game wants to buy this game, tell them, you know, let them know, let them see this video, and leave me any comments down below that you want to about how you feel about this game, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, go ahead and leave me those likes, dislikes, subscribe if you feel it helps. But yeah, like I said, leave me those comments. Tell your friends. Share this with them. Anyways, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and take a break right now. And when we come back, get started.